Promise made, promise kept. A candidate for Yonkers, mayor of the city of Yonkers, Mr. Anthony Miranda, is here with us today. It's important to hear what our candidates have to say. It's important to understand their vision for our city. I think it's very important to understand what difference will they make if they are elected. Because if we're voting for somebody, it's to make some changes. And if you're running, it's because you're not happy with the way things are today, and you want to make some changes for the city of Yonkers. Fair assessment, sir?
Basically, there's a lot of things in there.
Okay, so tell me where I'm.
It's a very complicated formula, but it's what historically that I don't, I agree that some things are good, some things could be better, and then I got to be careful for the future. So my vision for Yonkers is to number one, to take care of the people of the city that I believe have been forgotten. What's happening here with the city is Yonkers has shown we've had a lot of development that's happening. What we've done is we've built a city of commuters. And yes, that helped us on a tax-based point of view, but I don't think that the development has been something that lifts the city.
Mr. Durante, sorry to interrupt you. Don't go too further, because that was part of my script.
I'm sorry. I thought that's really fun.
Yes. So, but basically,
but that's the crux of it.
That's the crux. Yes, but we want to change it.
It's community.
Okay, but since you mentioned that is part of my question. Look, we are all happy to see this new development coming to Yonkers. We're all happy to see people investing in Yonkers, but not many. Better yet, many are not too happy because as those people are coming in, people that grew up in Yonkers for generations and generations must leave the city of Yonkers because they can no longer afford to live in Yonkers. How would you manage this balance?
It's a vicious cycle, because you're absolutely right, because this development drives up the cost of apartments. And well, again, I would like to again, smart development. I need to see them as a council person and as a community leader. I don't really get to see everything. Right now, I'm not running for mayor. I'm getting a better feel of what I've had in the city. But it's more of to build this affordable housing that the people that are homeless are needing. I mean, right now we have this thing that's we're going to council that hoping to give out vouchers so people can afford things because things are getting so expensive. But we need to focus more on affordable housing versus a lot of this other development. You want to still have that. Don't get me wrong. You want a mix. You want to have the proper mix so that people who are facing homelessness or that need their places are deteriorating. We need to get them some good quality homes. And do I have the whole formula? I don't know if there is a complete formula, but if there is one, I'm going to find it, and we're going to make it happen. Because we have to take care of our people. See, I'm not interested in really bringing in too many more people. I want to take care of our own. That is my biggest issue, is that our people here have been forgotten, and they need to be addressed. Whether it be the people on the west side, that or wherever I don't want to say the west side, whoever's having homeless issues, we need to get them home. The people all over the city, they're forgotten because they want to have the basic things. I mean, look, we're working on parks, streets. We need more paving. We need to take care of that. We need to take care of the infrastructure. I have flooding problems that the city, unless I truly grill them until they finally find the blocked sewer pipe or something. These are the things that people care about, that they can, dignify things. Again, and the parks, to make sure people have a good place to raise their kids and go play baseball and just hang out. I think that we put a lot of money into it, and there's a lot more that we need to do to make this a community that people want to hang out over here, and that people that are living here are making proud to be in Yonkers and say, hey, I'm going to this park or that park, and hey, and when the family comes over, hey, let's go hang out and play some baseball.
Mr. Merante, we only have 30 minutes for this interview, so we have a few questions that came in. We have to move along with the questions so we can Okay, we can ask the questions that people send it to us, so you can reply.
Do my best.
Because many people at this time, there's too many people running for mayor. There's a few.
At least it's only one of the Republicans
Yeah, well,
at this point.
some are worth mentioning, others are not. But what is the main difference? If I'm thinking, who should I vote for? Mr. Merante, re-elect Mike Spano, Coração Pineda, or Prince Roberts? Who should I vote? You know who they are, no?
Absolutely.
Okay. Who should I vote for? And what is the difference? Of course, you're going to tell me I'm the person for the job.
Absolutely.
But that's not the real question. The question is, why are you the person for the job?
Well, I think that the vision, first of all, as far as a side issue, term limits is going to be on the ballot, number one. Okay? But that's not really the critical issue to vote for me. But I think part of it should be because I think someone should not be in charge for more than 12 years. Otherwise, their name is flattery. But the point of the matter here is that we're going to let that message be out there, that people know that, and there was a method that it was done as a second time. I mean, one time I can understand, the second time, shame on them. But people are going to know that, and that'll be one reason why there should be a change in leadership. But the reasons that people should vote for me is because I'm going to address the crime issue the way it's supposed to be addressed, and that is really to truly go after the Albany people who have put this bail reform on us to the point where the crime statistics that the city boasts of lower crime is false, because police are not making all the arrests that they probably should, because they've come to the point where why should I arrest when he's going to come out, he or she is going to come out anyway?
But that's not the question really for the police department. The police department should not be asking, why should I arrest? The police department is in charge of enforcing the laws, okay? What comes up after, it's not up to the local police department, it's up to the DAs.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, again.
But I hear you.
But we have 1,000 less arrests in 22 than 21 because police are, whether it be frustration, whether it be told, and we have the best police department probably in the United States. Great leadership over there, great people. And the city council, we work together to make sure they have the tools to do their job, and make sure they're trained properly, the right tools, and properly paid. So this way, we don't want dissension. But the point is that we need to upgrade. We make sure that the crime situation. I will be going after the DAs and the state affiliation delegation to make sure that there's elections coming up, and then all of a sudden you hear a little bit more talking about we're going to do some bail reform. They're not doing any bail reform. The other issue right now is with this thing with zoning. It's a zoning issue that I'm going to protect the communities. I'm not going to let communities fall apart, because that's what's going on right now with the governor, with this housing compact that she wants to put into place. It's a problem.
Yeah. Just before we go too far, just in regards to crime and bail reform, saying that police might not arrest people because they might ask why we're going to arrest them today, they might leave tomorrow. It's the same thing as saying if everything was as it used to be, police might have the option to enforce the laws or don't enforce the laws. That's something that it's removed from the police department, who are on street. They're supposed to enforce the laws based on how the laws are in our state, correct? So this is a little bit above you, I would say. It's New York State.
Again, it's crime
Affects us.
Crime is on the ballot too.
If you are voted this coming November, your name comes on top. I know that all issues that you just mentioned are important. It's part of your vision. But you cannot tackle them all at the same time. So what are the priorities? What are the things that you're going to be addressing right away? Is it housing? Is it crime? Is it education? What is it?
We can't address them all at the same time. We have to address them all at the same time. But I do think, in my opinion, that crime is the number one issue, because it is the root of a lot of issues. If crimes are being committed and people know, they're not going to go out. They're not going to go shopping. They're afraid to be part of in the middle of a shop, one of those grab things, when people walk in. My cousin told me that he walked in the middle of one the other day. Person was walking out of Kohl's and they were a whole shopping cart full of it. frustrating to see that stuff because eventually we end up paying for that. That's where part of the inflation comes from, is that people are stealing so the stores mark up stuff. So that is an economic issue. Economics is the common denominator throughout this whole thing. Without a quality person that has a financial background, as I do, we have to take care of these issues, and crime will create a financial issue. People will stop shopping, they'll stop coming to Yonkers.
Actually, we had a post about that the other day, shoplifting. And many said it's because of the reform. Well, shoplifting always existed. Okay? It's not new.
Not to this extent.
Not to this extent, but it was always there.
They're brazen. They're brazen now. They're brazen.
Correct. But then perhaps those big stores that are suffering from things like that, perhaps they should consider having a loss prevention team instead of focus on, some don't, instead of focusing on big profit sharing and bonuses at the end of the year for the executives. Maybe they want to invest where the losses are so they don't get out of here looking for business elsewhere. Maybe it's a combination of issues, sir? No?
As you said, we have our program that you have half an hour.
Okay.
That's one for you and I to talk. We can talk a whole hour on the whole issue. And they should we should make the store owners more responsible for enforcing stuff, because a lot of times the cops walk in there. I'm very active at the first precinct. They walk in there, they say nothing's happened, don't worry about it. They don't want to be
and the other problem
targeted as we have crime that people won't show up.
Exactly. And the other side is we have sometimes civilians, customers getting involved. And and these people, as you said, this criminal, it's dangerous. Because you don't know what they might carry in their pocket, and if something happens inside of the store, now what?
Okay, I agree. It's not, the people should not have it. But if they want to take a picture from a distance and send it in because they saw it, let it be known.
And then let law enforcement.
That's what happened at Marshalls on Central Avenue. The people.
That
person, there was a couple of people that got involved that particular. That guy was in the wrong place at the wrong time because a bunch of people got involved, took pictures, and put the pressure on Marshalls to enforce.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the people you support. Look, I'm asking you a whole bunch of questions. You might say, but what does that have to do with me? I'm running for mayor. But I would run, or I would vote for you based on who Mr. Miranda is. Looking at all his answers, how he sees things, how he would address issues. So it's not just about how would you get the different formula for education, how you would deal with crime. It's about your vision, your perspective, how you see problems. We know
you want to talk about education and funding, and that's a very critical issue. And
yes.
As I said, as a financial, I
you
know.
are a number man, right?
I'm a bookie. I'm a legal bookie.
A legal bookie.
I'm a legal bookie.
No bets.
That's it. No, I don't play lotto. I don't gamble. That's dangerous. But the point of the matter here is that it's all about finances, as I said. I mean, Yonkers right now generates $500 million that we in state taxes, rather than sales tax and income tax. We send that up to all of you. We only get $400 million back. I want the rest of our money because I don't want to hear that we're under, because I mean, all this money that Buffalo, Syracuse, and Rochester get, we don't get it. We need to get our money to make sure that we take care of our children. Our education system is very important. Plus the fact that they haven't given us our AIM money, aid to municipalities, it's $108 million for 10, 12 years now. That's ridiculous. I mean, we send also Central Avenue, Somerville Road, Yonkers Avenue just got fixed recently. But we need to get these streets paved. It's all about money. Look, money is the common denominator, and I will hold the state delegation and the governor's feet to the fire on getting the money that we need in the city. Because everything else, it's for the feet for, right? I mean, you tell me what else you can do without money.
Money.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's necessary.
Mr. Miranda, as a councilman,
Yes.
you voted for 90% of contractual raises. But you voted no for taxes, no increase taxes. Does that formula match?
Sure,
So I raised, but I raised no taxes. How you reconcile that?
Because income taxes and sales taxes where we have to get our money from, not necessarily real estate taxes. Okay. The unfortunate thing is, good and bad, is our transfer tax that people pay when they sell their homes. was double what we budgeted for, which was good for our tax base because that means we didn't have to, you know, from 10 million to 20 million. It means a lot of people are leaving the city of Yonkers. That's the real problem that we're having, is people are leaving the city of Yonkers. And part of the reason is some of this taxes. I don't think it's 100% because Yonkers is still fair compared to other, you know, municipalities. But we have to build, again, better housing, better projects. I mean, when Chicken Island is built, it's got to generate sales tax. I want people to come to Yonkers to hang out, spend some money, go to the restaurant, sales tax, and then of course the other people will have income taxes to pay. If we have enough income tax, the real estate part doesn't have to go up. And that's where the focus is. I like that, and I like people to come here, spend their money, and go home to the Bronx and to White Plains and to wherever they want to go, and we'll take care of that.
Principles, matters, how people do things. Let's talk about January 20th. The Democratic City Council members released a redistricting map in Yonkers. Anthony Miranda requested a meeting with the GOP leadership, O'Rourke, Justin Fubioli, and Mr. Green, and others to discuss the map. When they arrived, they felt like they were ambushed by many of their supporters. Now, I'm in possession of a text that you sent out, inviting your supporters to show up and asking them not to release, not to share that text with anyone.
That's right.
Why was that? Why do that behind their backs?
No, listen. That meeting, okay, so let's understand something. First of all, I was not involved in any discussions. Okay, I was kept out of the discussions. As you know, okay. I know. So I was very concerned at what happened over here. I know we have a 5-2 majority on the city council, but I have a good relationship with all of them on there. But I was kept out of the discussions, so I didn't know what was going on. So I brought in my people there because I wanted my minority of the green to come in and say to my people, this is what happened. We need to deploy and do this. That's why I didn't want just anybody shared. I didn't want everybody coming to this meeting, just a certain group of people. It wasn't an ambush. It was there for them for Green to say to me and for Bobby Moffett and for Justin Trujillo to basically say, this is what the problem is, guys. This is what we need to do. Go do it. I was ready to deploy people to take action, not to ambush. Absolutely not.
I don't know if you have the same problem as I do. Often I tell my wife something, but she takes it in a different way. Meaning, what I say and what she hears are two different things. If your intention was not to ambush, why didn't you tell them that you had invited people, your supporters, so it would allow them to bring their own supporters if they choose to? Because look, I remember I tried to go to that particular meeting, and I was told that it was a closed meeting.
Oh.
So was it closed or not closed?
It was closed for who I wanted to be there.
Okay.
Who I wanted to be there.
So
I tell who's coming, okay? So I called it. It was not intended to be, it should have been a welcome thing for them. It wasn't supposed to be. They should not have walked into that room and thinking that it was an ambush. They should have said, oh, they should be happy to see everybody because they were all our Republican family.
Exactly. And it seems like the Republican family, at least in Yonkers, is kind of a dysfunctional family. Well, you know, sometimes how we see things.
They work hard for getting petitions. They work for my petitions. Listen, we listen. It's like a regular Italian family. We just, you know, we like to disagree, but we get together when we gotta get together. We make things happen. We make things happen. There's some dissension going on right now, but you know what? That's okay. You know, you gotta have some.
Are you behind or supporting Mr. Ron Shute on his campaign?
I am.
And why? Why him and not Mr. Green? Or why don't just stay on? I understand the numbers and I understand the equation, but I want to hear it from you.
Ron Shute is a very qualified person to be a city councilman. He's somebody that's been my co-ward leader in the 10th ward here in the city.
And former partner, right?
We worked at Brooklyn Cheesecake. We worked at Brooklyn Cheesecake many years ago. recession of 2008 beat us up at that particular point, and things changed. But needless to say, I'm supporting him because, again, it's a term limit thing. It's a term limit thing. I don't believe anybody should be in power. I have nothing personal against Mike Ring. He's a great father, a great councilman, dad, grandfather, person in general. But you got to move on. Right now, I think the logistics of the power of someone being in there for 12 years, that's enough. It's enough. It's time to move on. And what was originally done to Ron Madden was supposed to be the original candidate there, and there was a little shenanigans that went on with that.
That's a lot of shenanigans with Ron Madden. That I don't care about bringing that now.
But the point of the matter here was that he's been working hard to earn
Ron Madden?
to be in that to work that position.
Well, let me tell you a little bit of Ron Madden. Nothing to do with you. But Ron Madden is the person who accused us of extorting money from him because we asked him, as we asked you and we asked every candidate, if they want to buy an ad from us. Have you ever been extorted by Yonkers Voice?
No.
Did we ever ask you if you don't pay, you don't get an interview? No. You had to think about that one?
Because I don't deal with you on that issue. I do my campaign manager.
But you would know. You would know.
Yeah, listen. We again, I always supported. We work together. I always want to put ads on to make sure you got to get out there and let people know. That accusation. I didn't want to discuss that.
Okay,
let's move on. Move on.
And by the way, guys, don't forget. This interview and most of the interviews that we do are endorsed by Dos Marias here in Yonkers, 200 New Main Street. If you guys want to have great Mexican foods and Mexican drinks, making new friends from everywhere, this is the place to go. Taco Tuesdays, every Tuesday. Karaoke from Wednesday to Saturday. It's a great ambiance. Come here, just relax, wind down after a busy day at the City Hall, or whatever place you work, come on down. And one more thing, Yonkers Voice does not endorse or oppose any candidate. All candidates, serious candidates, are welcome on Yonkers Voice to talk about their vision and explaining why they feel they are the best candidate for the job. So you are all welcome, we don't take sides. We just inform so you the people can make a decision. I've been very confident.
You've been fair to me all along.
And I'm even thinking about swapping people with all the time.
I got the voter registration in my car. I'll be right back.
Okay, now it's on record. I'm kidding. I am.
You're Republican leader.
That's it. That's it. How do you see Yonkers 10 years from now if you are elected? If we having this interview, because if you are elected, we still want to interview. So let's fast forward the time, the tape, 10 years from now, and you watch it. What will we see in Yonkers? What will be the Yonkers of the future?
Yonkers is going to be the place where people, again, they're going to want to come. Central Avenue is going to be back to where it was when I first moved in here in 1987. We couldn't drive up Central Avenue, so it would take you 10 minutes to get from Tuckahoe Road to Fort Hill, where people are up here shopping, enjoying the experience of shopping, retail. We've all, because of various reasons, have turned to Amazon, which we have to on certain things. But we need to create a place where people want to come to spend money, have lunch, restaurants. Again, we want this place to be where our workforce lives. I would like to have some workforce housing here because, again, it's a shame that a lot of our people work here and bring their paycheck up to Mayapack and Yorktown. It's just not what we should be doing. People should be here. I want this to be a place where, again, we're going to grow from the inside, and of course, hopefully a very nice smooth street that they're going to drive up because people don't come up because the viaduct that Tuckahoe Road is a mess. That thing's been like that. A lot of things we need to clean up, fix up, and bring people here so that they come here, have a proud experience, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go hang out in Yonkers tonight. I don't hear people saying I'm going to go hang out in Yonkers tonight.
Right on. You're correct. I speak with lots of people on the streets, and when I ask, hey, how do you like Yonkers? What would you do different? What would you like to see in Yonkers? And I can tell you that maybe 80% of the people never mention taxes. They never mention education formula. Yeah, they do mention crime. The things that they mention the most, sir, is quality of life.
Absolutely.
That's what they mention most. They mention the potholes, they mention the roads, they mention the trash, they mention the homeless, they mention getting square and how it looks like. There's a lot of people in East Yonkers, they're afraid to come to get square. Of what, you know, because of the things they might be exposed to.
That they don't expose themselves to.
Exactly.
It's, you know, obviously there's a lot of good places going, other good things going on over there on the west side.
Exactly.
But there are some issues.
There are some issues.
And reputations that have to be overcome.
Correct. You know, we posted the other day a man in front of McDonald's and in Gary Square shooting themselves. Parents don't want to expose their kids to that. So they're afraid, they don't want to expose, they don't want to take risks. And some people see it doesn't take risks.
So if I may,
Sure. This is your interview.
If you remember way back in January when it was like 50 degrees on a Sunday afternoon. January was much warmer than March, I gotta tell you. But when we had that announcement, we did it from a diner. If you recall, the reason I did it at the diner, there was a very big implication. Why did I do it at the diner? You know what? That diner is about family. Okay? That's what's missing in Yonkers right now. People have forgotten about the family. You want to talk about what the root causes of problems with kids because they don't have a good family system anymore. Okay, absentee dads, or what have you. So it's all about family. Families build communities, and together for the community will build upon itself because it just builds. It's just the seeds that build a good community, and that's why, you know, as far as downtown, you know, we have to fix that Chicken Island. We have to fix a lot of things so that people have pride in coming down here. So that is where I want to. That's my vision to clean up, and make it an experience. You know, it's like, you know, go to school lunch. School lunch is not just shopping; it's an experience. When you go to school lunch, you think about that. You know, people don't mind going in there and paying a couple extra bucks to stew because they go in there and they enjoy themselves. You know, and that's what we need Yonkers, so that when people are driving from east to west, north to south, it's an experience that you know, they want to come. Unfortunately, that creates it because then everybody wants to come here, and the prices go up, and then people don't get the housing. Then the housing is up, and now we got the problem.
Then we have another.
And then we go again.
Oh,
and then
we have two more questions because it's 11 o'clock.
Sure.
You want a tight schedule?
Yes, I can.
Yesterday, Yonkers Voice was the first to announce that Dr. Edwin Posada is leaving the Yonkers Public Schools. It was a surprise to me. We didn't expect. Because we just heard what the current mayor said about the man a week before at the city. So, and I don't even know if the mayor expected this. What is your opinion on this? Were you happy with him? Are you sad because he's leaving? What is your opinion?
I've already texted Dr. Posada, you know, saying I'm sorry to see you going. And, you know, I told him, I said I was hoping that he would be there for the Miranda Administration.
He was on the plans.
What's that?
He was on your plans to possible.
To keep him on as superintendent. Yeah. Well, again, the Board of Education is the one that keeps him on. But yeah, I would say, you know, I have a good relationship with Dr. Posada. He's always been very open to me, have a discussion. I don't have any ill will towards him. I think he does. I think every day he lives and breathes for the kids. He'll throw his body in front of everything. He'll make sure that every child is protected and try to give them everything. And we try to give him his tools, the money that he needs to give them. So I think I believe he's done a good job. I mean, obviously, I would, love to have sat down and gone in depth. I'm disappointed that he's going, but you know what? Wake up. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and it's time.
I don't know about waking up in the morning and decide it's time for me to give up on this job.
It's a tough job.
It's things that sometimes you digest, you think about, you talk with your family, and then you come to a decision. Probably it was on a making in a long time. But we don't know.
I don't agree with that 100%, but go ahead.
Not 100%, but it's a possibility. Did you just woke up one morning and said, I'm going to run for mayor? Or did you discuss with your family, with your wife, with your kids? Because it's a stressful job. It's not, it's much more than what meets the eye, I would say.
It is, absolutely. There's no question about it. They have a certain thought on certain things, but I do believe that, you're right. He probably was thinking about this thing here, and then whatever the scale, everyone has a scale. Everyone has the scale, and when the scale tips to the different thing, you got to make a decision. And maybe that morning, whatever, he probably woke up to his wife.
That's it.
And
Well,
that's fine.
I did not know Dr. Posada personally, but I have spoken to him numerous times. Dr. Posada, we wish you the best, whatever you choose to do after this. You're still a young man, many years to enjoy retirement. Yeah, I tell you, most people, I think, should retire at that age. You still can enjoy your whole many years ahead of you, because not everything is job, not everything is money. Family and have a great time with your family is extremely important.
Well, I didn't get personal with him. I hope it's not a health issue. That's all. I hope it's not a health issue. I hope it's a personal issue. But something again, he's a young enough guy that I don't know if he had maybe aspirations to go someplace else or whatever. But people come out of time.
That's it. If you do, Dr. Posada, we wish you the best.
Absolutely.
Yonkers, Hollywood on the Hudson. That's a powerful.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Is it good?
You know something? You want to finish the question?
Yeah,
I have my opinion on it already.
Hollywood on the Hudson
Right.
implies many more studios, not just the one studio that's 20 studios. What is your vision on that? A lot of people in Yonkers, they were very happy when they heard the announcement. Not too happy now, because some people are saying it's not what we thought. We thought we were going to get jobs, we thought we were going to get this, we thought we were going to get that. What we got is you got to leave because you cannot afford. This has become too expensive, and in part is because of Lionsgate. But that could be wrong, sir. So you know more about that than I. You inside the negotiations. You hear from the inside. So
No, I'm not. I'm the last person to find anything out.
Why? Because you're Republican?
No, because people know that I have an independent thing. I'm an independent thinker. I'm not. No one sways me. No one. There's only one person in the world that has any influence in my decision.
Wife?
Absolutely, absolutely. How do you get stay married 40 years?
That's it.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. So
So you're like me. I'm the boss at home when she's not around.
Yes.
So tell me, tell me, what is your view?
Yeah, well, again, I hope it becomes something good. I don't think. I asked people in the neighborhood over there if they've been buying food, and well, first of all, not one person has come up to me and said to me, "Hey, I got a great job at Lionsgate."
Not one person.
How about you? Anybody you know?
Not a great job. I heard some that are janitor,
Yeah. Okay. So.
it's a good job, but it's not what.
Well, again, I ran into somebody at an event a couple of months ago. He was part of. He said he was part of bringing Lionsgate here, and I didn't confirm that, but sounded reasonable with it. And I said, well, I remember them saying that it was going to be like 5,000 jobs or whatever it was going to be. And I said, right now, it sounds good, and again, you gotta let things develop, but I don't see it. I don't really see it in the short term being anything great. I see more of a vision for MGM getting the table games, getting that will burst something. But again, at the end of the day, unfortunately, for better or for worse, what's going to do is if it does materialize, and listen, we started it. It's just like Bridge Hill when it came up many years ago, and we wanted to. You got to make it. If it's approved, it's got to succeed. It's here. We got to make it succeed. I don't know about 22 studios, but I would like it to succeed with Yonkers residents getting work out of it at least. That's the bottom line for me. So it's all about financing. And the people here have to get value from it. If we don't get any dollars and cents out of the deal, and I don't see. I don't see a line item on the budget that says that how our revenue went up because of Lionsgate. So I'll be asking. Maybe I'll ask those questions when the budget comes out. I think the mayor's going to be bringing that out next week.
Yes. So Lionsgate is a studio company where production companies come to produce their movies. Those are unionized jobs, and they bring their own people. A union very difficult to get in. They have thousands and hundreds of people out of work, and they go first. So where are those thousands of jobs, and what jobs are going to be there for the people in Yonkers? I'm not saying there is no one from Yonkers working there. I know there is, I know some, but it's not what the people anticipate. At least it's not what it was sold to us. It's not what people understood.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. Like I said, I'd like to see, I mean, again, it just like the development. The mayor of the city was a wonderful speech, but sit down and really analyze it, how did that affect me?
I always said actions, not words. Because anyone can say what they want, but we need to see if it's benefit the city that we live in. That's what makes us better. Last question.
Sure.
Last question, because you gotta go, we already passed our time. Homeless. Homeless in Yonkers. I understand it's a county problem, I understand it's not our problem, but guess what? I also understand that it's happening in Yonkers, it's our problem.
We shouldn't have homeless people. Again, I don't know if I have that formula. I try to be, I'm a very meticulous guy, being a CPA, I'm a very stringent thinker or something like that. Again, how to prevent someone from becoming homeless is the first problem. The ones that are there now, as I said, we have to get the housing to get these people off the street. Nobody belongs on the street. Everyone deserves a home. Do I know the full answer at this point? Like I said, there's a lot of things when I become mayor that I want, and they're all number one. There's no one, two, or three. Everything's all number one. It's just a matter of juggling which one's number one today, which one's number one tomorrow. But that is a very big issue. I'd love to see zero homelessness in the city of Yonkers.
It's all right. Mental illness, but of course there is many things that we've been talking about it, but we'll leave that for another time because you have to go. Guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love, we appreciate your support. Don't forget to follow us on Yonkers Voice Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube channel. Subscribe to all of them. And stay tuned for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Councilwoman Corazon Pineda-Isaac will be on Yonkers Voice at around 2 p.m., 1:30 to 2 p.m. Tune in, tell your friend that she's going to be here. Come on, ask your questions, present them, but don't forget, present your questions in a polite and respectful manner. Otherwise, your questions will not be acknowledged. This is a place where we want our elected officials, those seeking elected positions, to feel comfortable. They don't come here to be arrested. They come here to participate, to share their vision, and tell you why they should be the person to represent you. Thank you, Mr. Miranda. Always thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Again, I enjoy being here. Look forward to the next time.
Yes, and that thing about the Republican, I was just joking.
Come on, man.
Guys, thank you. Until next time. Take care.